Thanks, Sean. Good evening. I'd like to welcome everybody to the March 26th River Falls City Council meeting. First thing we'll do is stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Christy, can I have a roll call, please?
Here. 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 Here.
Here.
Here.
Next, we have approval of the minutes from the March 12th meeting.
I move approval. Second.
First and second, questions, comments on the minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next, we have approval of the bills with Mr. Downing.
Mr. Mayor and Council, I move approval for the bills in the amount of $1,323,148.29, subject to the Comptroller.
Second.
First and second, questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next we'll move on to public comments. But before we do the public comments, we're gonna have the Police Officer of the Year presentation with Chief Young and Officer Stephen Thomas.
So you can come on up here, Mr. Mayor. Scott. Donath, if he's here, come on up. I think you're the only police and fire commissioner. Steve, if you want to come up and quickly, if you want to introduce your family.
My wife Tammy, my daughter Taylor, my son Mark.
And this is Gary Donath, so Mayor and City Council, thank you. This is a great time of year for me. Get to brag on Steve and say how great he is and all the good things that he did. He was selected for the 2023 Officer of the Year. One of the main things that he promotes is our mission statement, protecting with courage and serving with compassion. Steve served with the United States Air Force. He was hired as a reserve officer in '09, and he hired in 2012. He's been full-time ever since. He's been commended by his peers and supervisors for his positive attitude, ability to build strong relationships within the department, other law enforcement agencies, and especially with the community. He is a calming, just look at him right now, caring demeanor while in stressful and very dangerous situations, especially throughout this year. He's described by his supervisors as a genuine positive influence to those that he works with. And in 2023, he received recognition from his peers, supervisors, and from the community in a particular high-stress search warrant. A search warrant, a supervisor described Officer Thomas's response as to a non-compliant subject that he used quick thinking, used tools that never thought that could be used for such a situation, and appropriate reaction to a fluid situation, and keep with the high standards that he has and our agency has. And also throughout the year, he's been a really good mentor for our young officers, as we have hired many lately. He has many collateral duties and assignments, such as field training officer, which he's outstanding, emergency vehicle operations course instructor, evidence room technician, and serves on our honor guard. And within the past year, he's been to too many funerals within our region, serving in that capacity. So with that, I'd like to congratulate and hope to get everyone's help in honoring Officer Steve Thomas as the 2023 Officer of the Year. Thank you. And then here we have the mayor with your plaque.
There you go. Thanks for everything. Appreciate it. Thanks, man. All right.
better picture than the back.
Okay, so give them a chance to. Okay, wonderful. Okay, next we move on to public comments. If you want to public come on up. You can write your name, your address, phone number, and everybody will have 2 minutes. So if that's what you're here for, come on up.
Mr. Mayor, did you want to clarify that there is a public hearing?
Oh, yep.
Item number 3, so if your intention is to speak at the first reading of Ordinance 2024-01, which is annexation, you can do that during public comment, but you may wish to do that at the public hearing. It's up to the members of the public.
Yep. Okay.
Good evening. My name is Dana Linscott, and I represent the River Falls Alliance for the Homeless. Unfortunately, although we have nearly 200 citizens that are prepared and willing and beginning to provide resources to River Falls homeless, the River Falls Police Department is unwilling to cooperate in any way with that effort. Similar to Mayor Toland, who early on said he didn't want to listen to it anymore. There's a homeless problem in River Falls. We stand ready to help with it, and it's unprofessional conduct to deny the officer in charge of helping the homeless, of interfacing with the homeless, to even discuss it with this organization. This is not helping. This is denying needed resources to homeless individuals in River Falls that on cold, wet weather don't even have a warming shelter. Please fix this.
Anybody else have anything like to talk about? Okay. We'll close the council hearing and open up a public hearing on ordinance 2024-01. This is an ordinance annexing certain territory from the town of River Falls to the city of River Falls, N8118 Highway 29, and applying a zoning classification of R2 multiple medium density. And this is the first reading. And our community development, assistant community development director, Emily Shively, will provide a presentation. Sorry, Emily. Emily.
I'll answer to anything.
Thanks. That's what
So I'm Emily Shively, the Assistant Director of Community Development. This item is an annexation petition submitted by Kevin and Cynthia Haskins and Andrea and Luke Chafee. Okay, there we go. So an annexation petition is a request from a landowner to have their properties become part of the city of River Falls. Annexation petitions typically occur when a property is adjacent to city boundaries. Utilities such as water and sewer are available to serve new development, and a landowner is working with a developer who would like to create new housing or places for new jobs and services consistent with the city's comprehensive plan. The City Council is not reviewing any specific development proposals for the area at this time. If the annexation is approved, those applications will come later. The property owners are petitioning to annex 2 parcels adjacent to Highway 29 south of Larson Park, highlighted here in blue. The property owners are working with a developer who would like to build a new neighborhood on the property. Although we have not received development applications for the property at this time, the developer has provided a concept for what they would like to build on the property. The existing home at N8118 Highway 29 would remain and become integrated into a new single-family neighborhood. In addition, the developer would be seeking approval of a 53-bed supportive housing facility for adults with autism on the north portion of the property. Again, the details of the development are not being reviewed at this time. However, it's helpful to understand the type of development that may be proposed as we evaluate the land use and infrastructure in the area. City Code lists items that should be considered when an annexation petition is received: contiguity with the city boundaries, compatibility with the proposed use with adjacent uses, costs of providing capital improvements, and the costs of providing city services along with the anticipated revenues from new development. Evaluation of each of these factors are outlined in your packet. If the area is annexed to the city, an appropriate zoning district should be applied. In determining which zoning district is most appropriate, we review the city comprehensive plan, the zoning ordinance, and site characteristics. The proposed annexation area is contiguous with city boundaries as shown with the blue dotted line. The comprehensive plan future land use map designates this area for medium density residential development. The purpose for that land use classification is to recognize that the surrounding area is residential and residential uses in this area would be compatible. The corresponding zoning district to this future land use classification is R2 multiple family medium density residence district. This zoning classification would allow for the development of a new single-family neighborhood, which is anticipated, and the supportive housing proposal would be reviewed by Plan Commission via special use permit. The future land use plan designated areas adjacent to the city boundary that could accommodate residential development as medium-density residential in order to provide flexibility in more types of housing to meet the needs of the community and use city resources, land, and infrastructure efficiently. This future land use guiding is also a recognition of the significant need for all types of housing as outlined in the housing needs analysis. In summary, the request for annexation from the property owners meets the requirements in state statute and city code, and the proposed zoning classification is consistent with the comprehensive plan. Plan Commission reviewed the annexation request and proposed zoning at their meeting on March 5th and forwarded these items to council with a favorable recommendation. With that, I'll turn it back to you, Mayor.
Thanks, Emily. So we're still in the public hearing, so if there's anybody in the audience like to stand up and talk about this, now would be the time to come forward. Okay, I'll close the public hearing and reopen the council hearing. And seeing as this is the first reading, if the council has any questions.
I have a question.
Yep.
Well, thanks, Emily. This does meet housing needs in our city. But I do have one question, though. Have you had anyone contact you regarding the land annexation who is not a property owner?
So is your question about this particular annexation?
Yeah.
So I haven't had anyone contact me. We had a public hearing at Plan Commission, and all of the people who spoke were property owners in the area or residents in the area.
Okay. Well, I guess I'd encourage people, if they have an opinion that they want to be shared, to come to our next meeting here at City Council. So thank you, Emily. Yep.
Anybody else have anything?
Look what you started.
Okay, we will move on to consent agenda. First thing is acknowledgement of the following minutes. We have Police and Fire Commission from 1/22. We have Park and Rec Advisory Board from 1/17. We have the Library Board from February 5th. We have Planning Commission from 11/7 of 23. We have the Historic Preservation Commission from 3/13. We have the Utility Advisory Board of 1/16. We have the West Central Wisconsin Biosolids Facility Commission from 1/25 and 2/15. And we have the River Falls Housing Authority from 2/14. Next is resolution to award the 2024 Mill and Overlay Program. This would award the program to Monarch Paving. Next one is resolution amending fee schedule for recreation fees. Next one is a resolution regarding replat of Outlot 1 to create Lot 19 in the St. Croix Valley Habitat for Humanity Eco Village. Next one is a resolution approving River Falls Eye Surgery and Laser Center Stormwater Easement. Next one is a resolution recommending purchase of a 3-reel turret trailer for electric distribution wire to Sabre Manufacturing Company. And the last one is resolution approving the purchase of a 2022 Western Star plow truck from Boyer Trucks. Does anybody want to pull anything?
I'd like to pull 8.
8, okay, anything else? Okay, I'll take a motion on the rest.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the consent agenda items 4A through H, 5 through 7, and 9 and 10.
Second.
First and second, questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Mr. Bjork, you pulled 8.
Yeah, I guess I'd like a better understanding of
the costs or where we're not gonna be charging for anything on this, so, I guess I was just having a hard time comprehending all that was said on there, so, maybe I should have brought up all those questions. Oh, it is not. It is now, my mic is on now, so, Mayor Tolan, I'm just looking for a better understanding of the, costs on this and, the payback or the lack of payback on it. And I don't know who could answer that, and perhaps I should have.
Right here.
Chris,
I could
can
give it a
answer
try.
some
I'm
technical
Chris
questions.
Plunger, the senior civil engineer. I wrote the memo. So basically, the city would be allowing the I Center to build part of its stormwater pond on city property, which is currently being used for a regional stormwater pond. City staff didn't think that it was appropriate to charge them for this easement. Part of the proposed easement document would allow the city to no longer cancel, terminate the easement if there was something that the city wanted to do with that parcel. However, it's a pretty small piece of the city property. It's about like 20 feet by 70 feet, 1,400 square feet roughly. And so we don't really see what it could be used for.
Do you see that this could become, I don't want to say an issue, but something that could happen elsewhere that this will become the precedence of that? Or?
We think it's a fairly unique circumstance. And we don't think that it's going to be repeatable in a lot of places around town. But generally, engineering staff is in favor of having there being a above ground pond as opposed to underground. Mm-hmm. It's a lot easier to see that if it needs maintenance or not. And then yeah.
Okay, real good.
And they are, just to ask you, Chris, they are charging for administration cost and stuff like that, that we will be billing them for that, right? Isn't that what it says?
Correct, Mr. Mayor. We have proposed in here to charge the applicant for administrative costs from, we've worked with our attorney to draft this easement for this specific circumstance that we don't have a template one.
Okay.
So we drafted a special one, so we'd be trying to recoup our costs for that and for the time to get this put on the agenda.
Okay, perfect.
Yep, makes good sense.
I can speak so we do, I think staff didn't think it was, we're not advising you that you charge something, but appropriateness of charging is up to the council. So if the council wanted to charge, that's a decision you could make to do that. What we're suggesting in this case is it's got a minimal impact to the land. There's some benefit from this for the city to the alternative, which would be an underground stormwater. It's immediately adjacent to a regional stormwater pond already. We have done agreements. I probably can't name all of them, but we have done some agreements where we've used regional stormwater, where we've incorporated essentially some local water into those ponds. And I think we also have one easement that, Chris, you may have helped with, off of what's now Powell Avenue, where we issued a driveway access easement across city property. And in that case, we also didn't charge for the easement.
Correct, we did not charge.
We had them pay all the recording and CSM. And in that case, also that easement we can pull back. They don't have a perpetual. So that's kind of that's the only one example I can think of recently where we've done similar. So yes, it may create a precedent in the sense that we're trying to be fair and equitable. And yes, the council could decide that anytime land transfers, you want some kind of reimbursement or sale. We just thought in this situation, it probably would be more costly for us to try to do that than the benefit that the public would see from managing the stormwater, if that makes sense.
And with both of those, are revocable or terminable at the will of the city. So I mean, you're granting something, but if you change course, you can, change your mind and terminate the easement, which is why I think staff is recommending just, administrative costs be charged.
Yep. Well, I'm good with it. I'd like to move to approve it if it's proper time, unless there's other questions.
Second. Okay, first and a second. No other questions on this one? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next move on to the Comptroller's report for February.
The, excuse me, the Comptroller's report for February 2024. General fund revenues through the end of February were $3,161,472, or 23.2% of total budgeted revenues for the year. Revenues in February included $1,506,642 in general property tax and $216,622 in state facilities revenue. Expenditures through the end of February were $2,023,906, or 14.9% of total budgeted expenditures for the year. So as of February 29th, 2024, net revenues over expenditures were $1,137,566.
Thanks, Dan. Okay, I have a couple appointments I'd like to make. I'd like to appoint Melissa Abdow to replace Brandon Doberton through May of 2026 on the Park and Rec Advisory Board. And I'd like to appoint Tom Gunderson to replace Mark Sams through April of 2029 on the Police and Fire Commission.
I move approval of the mayor's appointments.
Second.
First and second, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, then I have a proclamation congratulating our hockey team from University of River Falls for winning the 2024 NCAA Division III men's hockey, I'm so sorry, women's hockey championship. So, whereas the University of Wisconsin River Falls women's hockey team won its first national championship with a Division II record 31 wins, going undefeated after defeating Elmira College in the championship game on its home ice at Hunt Arena. And whereas the UW River Falls women's hockey team demonstrated exceptional perseverance, talent, and sportsmanship throughout the 2023-2024 season. And whereas Kenzie Dunn scored the winning goal during the third period of the game, and goalie Jordan O'Connor had 16 saves throughout the game to hold the women's lead, to hold the Falcons' lead over Elmira. And whereas senior co-captain Maddie McConnells became the third Falcon to win the Laura Hurd National Player of the Year Award and was named the NCAA tournament's most outstanding player. And whereas the team was led by co-captains Holly Eckers, Alex Henchey, and Maddie McCollins, who were joined by teammates McKenna Orr, Catherine Bell, Kendi Bielenberg Howarth, Ellie Bryce, Allison Carruthers, Kenzie Dunn, Megan Goodrow, Peyton Hickson, Courtney Jacobs, Madison Katerlick, McKenna Catalick, Madison Laverne, Brooke Lemke, Kalila Lindquist, Aubrey Nelvin, Kaylee Nickham, Jordan O'Connor, Jordan O'Kane, Bailey Olson, Anna Rader, Caitlin Roon, and Braylene Sathers. And whereas the team was managed by brilliant coaches and staff, led by National Coach of the Year Joe Cranston, assistant coaches Jim Walsh, Amanda Ryder, and Jeremy Weiss, athletic trainer Sean Peterson, strength and conditioning coordinator coach Jake Anderson, and student managers Jenna Caspers, Trinity Foster, and Chalice Prohaska. And whereas the community of River Falls and our state take pride in the integrity, leadership, and excellence the team has demonstrated in its historic accomplishments. And now therefore be it resolved that the members of the River Falls Common Council do hereby commend the University of Wisconsin River Falls women's hockey team, the coaching staff, the athletic department, and the chancellor on winning the 2024 NCAA Division II Women's Hockey National Championship title, and wish the student athletes, coaches, and staff continued success on and off the ice. That was it. Congratulations to them all.
I do believe that our very own John Smits may have been the announcer at that game. John, were you? If he didn't this game, he has been in the past. Were you the announcer?
He's gonna do the
He's
call.
coming out to, yeah.
You can do the call.
No, I do the webcast
Oh, you do the
for most of the
webcast.
games, so the play-by-play, so like Doc Emmerich or something like that.
Okay.
But no, they bring in, the NCAA brings in their own talent, and so then they did the play-by-play. And you can get to that on the ncaa.com website.
Okay.
But yeah, the other ones are on uwrfsports.com. But yeah, so I do the regular season and did well into the playoffs.
Well, they're missing the opportunity to
Yeah.
bring you on to the NCAA one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Sorry for interrupting.
No, you're fine. Okay,
Move to adjourn.
Second.
first and second adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. What?
I said, here comes watch
Oh.
this.